Skyzone.Society.
Yo, what's going on, my people out here in the zone land? You know what you tapped into. If not, you're now tapped into the Zone Sports Podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm one half for the host, your boy Big V. For my people on the YouTube and for my people on the SoundCloud, you know what I mean? You can hear see my guy over there. What's popping, boy?
What up, man? It's your boy Corey, aka Cool C, aka COO. What the hell? Woo! What is going on, man?
Man. First of all, before we get into everything, man, let me let the people know who we sponsored by, Big Dog. You know what I mean? We sponsored by my brand, Skyzone.Society. Make sure you shopping at skyzone.society.bigcartel.com. You know what I mean? Head over
Yeah.
there, get your hoodies, your tees, your baseball tees, your hats, your candles, everything we got over there. You know what I mean? Corey,
Yeah.
man, last week I was a little under the weather, like I told you. You know what I mean? Dealing with
Yeah.
my cellulitis issue and all that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
man, I started feeling good around Thursday, Friday. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
McCory,
Yeah.
I got sick again, man.
I got a good idea how that happened. Yeah.
Corey,
Oh my God.
I got sick again around, I would say, third, fourth quarter of the Monday night football game. And I know,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, I know you like how. I can explain how. If you know me,
Yeah.
you know I'm a diehard Colts fan.
Yeah.
And Corey, I was on my Twitter, feeling
Yeah.
good, you know,
Yeah.
up like 25-3 or 25-9, feeling good, you know what I mean? Colts was up,
Yeah. Looking good.
and then I got that little throw up taste in the back of my throat. You know how like when you get
Oh.
ready to like when it's right there, when the throw up is like right there,
Yeah.
and you can't
Yep. It's a little bit warm around your neck region. Yeah.
Corey,
Yeah.
I still feel sick to my stomach with that loss that the Colts suffered to the Baltimore
Yeah.
Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the Monday night football game, my Colts was against the Baltimore Ravens. Was looking fantastic, Corey. Looking
Man.
fantastic. But you know what, Corey? Colts gonna cope.
Oh. Oh man.
Corey, the whole game I'm watching, again, ladies and gentlemen, we was up about 25 to maybe 6 or so.
Mm.
Looking good. Came out second half looking all right. Something told me that it was not going to go the way that it had been going. And you know why, Corey?
Yeah.
Colts going to cope. That's why.
Oh. Say it ain't so.
Corey, I have came on this podcast for the past several weeks and have told you that we will not be making the playoffs. Corey, if you are looking for an example of why I say that, look no further than Monday night. Look no further. Look no further.
Yeah.
Leave it to the Colts to take a game where you're up by at least 16,
Yeah.
go into OT, and not score anything the rest of the time that you were up. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ravens came back and beat my Colts 31-25 in overtime. It was a stellar performance put on by Lamar Jackson. Stellar performance.
Yeah.
Stellar performance. Is it too early to put him in the Hall of Fame, Corey? I think he's in the black. I think he's already in the Black Hall of Fame. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. And if he
Absolutely.
wasn't, if he wasn't before Monday night, he is post Monday night.
Certified.
Yeah.
Certified.
Yeah.
Corey, what a stud. What a stud. I mean, I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna do any more due diligence to him
Yeah.
other than say, what a stud, dude. What a stud.
Yeah.
The end on that. Back to my coach stinking up the joint.
Ugh.
Corey, I don't know how the hell we managed to miss a key extra point
Yeah.
and also some clutch field goal moments.
Man.
And you know, I'm gonna give Blankenship a pass. That wasn't like
Yeah.
that's not how he does. He's normally spot on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm hearing that he had hip surgery the next day.
Yeah. He
You
had
know,
some injury which we didn't know during the game because I'm like, why is it? Because I think it was either the first or the second kick. I was like, where the
yeah,
hell is Blankenship at? So he
I,
knew something. And you're right. He ever since Georgia,
he's been
he's a
yeah.
spot on field goal
Mm-hmm,
kick. He's a hell of a field goal kick.
mm-hmm. And man, if 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 a night was gonna come where his hips were bothering him, it had to be that night, right? I know, I know.
Of course, it
I
wouldn't have
mean,
any other way, right? Yeah.
Corey, the defense was playing stellar. We were sacking Lamar. We were sacking Lamar Jackson damn near at the 1 yard line every time every time the Ravens got into the red zone. We played great red zone defense up until bodies just start dropping like flies. Next thing you know, I look
Yeah.
up, we got the third string cornerbacks back there, and God knows who playing
Oh.
safety and linebacker. Man, I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
it was an atrocity to say the best of it, Corey. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even put it on Wentz. Wentz did a stellar job. He did what he needed to do. Um, Corey, I don't even know what else to say. I've been trying to find the words since Monday night to
Yeah.
put that loss into the best words that I can.
Yeah.
Corey, I'm gonna just tell you again, like I've been telling you for the last few weeks on this podcast, we will not be making the playoffs. This is a perfect example why it don't matter. It don't even matter what happened. We're gonna cope. We're gonna get in our way, some way, somehow, some way, somehow. We're gonna cope, and that's exactly what we did. We lost. We lost a huge lead. Man, what a major win that would have been for the organization to get that win on the road in
That would have been
Baltimore.
huge.
Man, what a
Yes.
key win that would have been. Instead, people calling it an instant classic. No, it's not a classic at all. No,
Not if you're a Colts fan.
it was an instant ass kicking. Is what it was. You know what I mean? Lamar Jackson, man, and the Baltimore Ravens, man. I mean, they capitalized when they needed to capitalize. Point blank.
Yeah.
Period. It was not an instant classic at all for me. Um, Again, just speaking on playoffs and why we won't be there. You can't make these type of mistakes, Corey. This can't
Yeah.
happen. This cannot happen. This isn't the NBA playoffs where you get a couple of games to redeem yourself. No, you lose and you go
They-
the fuck home. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And where we sit right now at what 1-4,
Yeah.
going into the fifth, almost 6th week of the National Football League schedule.
Yeah.
No, no playoffs, man. No playoffs.
Well, just like yourself, I've been under the weather for different reasons. Um, I got my third COVID shot, the booster shot,
Mm.
this past Monday. And I was one of the lucky people with the first two shots where all I had was a sore arm, and just a, slight fatigue. Well, Big V, they say third time's the charm. And while it's not as bad as some people may say, like, with the is you either get held either on the first shot or the second shot or vice versa. It wasn't as bad as other people's. I got my booster shot around 2:30 on Monday, well before the game. And going into the Monday night football game, me just being an arrogant, pompous individual, I'm like, boom, I'm skating 3 for 3. Because my wife skated 3 for 3. My wife skated, right? And, I'm going to fast forward and I'm going to back up. I promise this is all going to make sense. And I fast forward to 3 o'clock Monday morning, technically Tuesday, early morning, about 3:30. And Big V, zone is a zone land. It felt like your boy was sleeping on a sheet of ice around 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, cold sweats, and I'm just like, damn it, man, it got me. Not the COVID, but the potential side effects of the vaccine.
Right.
And they say, hey, man, if you get hit with some side effects, that means it's working. Well, out of respect for those who've lost their lives, I'm not going to sit here and say I wish it wasn't working. But I wish something was something about something at 3 o'clock, right? And so I get up Tuesday morning, and it's like, okay, well, that was just a little 15-minute episode. I'm good. Next thing you know, I get a throbbing headache from the depths of all hell. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Still some of the lingering side effects. Not really a big deal. I said, I'm going to take an ibuprofen, take a nap. Took like a 2 or 3 hour nap, if you can call it a nap. That ain't really a nap. I went to sleep for 3 hours. I woke back up, pumped. I had the day off yesterday. I just full of energy. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then 6:30 happens. And then the same damn thing happens again. I walk around, I'm at home. I walk around in basketball shorts and t-shirts. We're about 6:30, 7 o'clock, Big V in zone land. Again, I ain't had no socks on. It felt like my feet, I might as well have been in Antarctica and Alaska at the same damn time when it came to my feet. I said, okay, cool, let me put some socks on. Not really a big deal. And then next thing you know, I'm cold again, shivering yet again. I said, okay, cool. Well, instead of my basketball shorts, let me put on my loungewear pants. I do that. I'm like, nope, that ain't making it feel any better. I'm like, okay, well, forget the t-shirt. Let me put on one of my long sleeve shirts. And that still wasn't working. I said, well, I need to get a damn blanket. I'm up here looking ridiculous. And, the shot is doing what it's supposed to do. And sick as I felt, I still didn't feel sick as you did Monday night, Big V. I was thinking about you this whole game. I'm going to fast forward and I'm going to play jump forward. I'm going to hop forward and hop back a little bit. So now we're back on Monday doing the game. And I'm like, this is going to be a defining game for your Indianapolis Colts. I said, if they could win this game, because I remember what you're saying, like, they're not going to make the playoffs. I said, well, if they could beat a team like Baltimore, the NFL, it's a long season. Things can turn around. And so I'm looking at the way Carson Wentz is playing, minus the Blankenship scenario. And I'm like, wow, for the first time, field goal kicker or not, y'all being the Colts have enough firepower to beat the Ravens tonight. And I was seeing it. And obviously, we're going to get to the John Gruden thing a little bit later. So I can't remember what the score was at halftime, but I know it was a substantial margin. And so once Adam Schefter broke the news about John Gruden, I'm like, okay, well, nobody's going to talk about it yet. So during about the middle of the third quarter, I'm not even watching it. I'm not watching the game anymore. I'm going back and forth to like CNN, NFL Network. I'm reading articles on the internet about this whole John Gruden thing, which we're going to get into later because it's fascinating. And I'm like, this game is pretty much over. My dad called me. We spoke a little bit before halftime. He's like, yeah, son, well, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. This game's pretty much over. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, man, Big V is going to be freaking amped on Wednesday. I'm like, this is a good quality win, even though beating anybody in the NFL, but beating, you could argue the potential representative of the AFC, that's a huge win. And so I'm still going back and forth. I was watching a little bit of my boy Don Lemon on CNN. They're talking about this extensively. I'm flipping back and forth from commercials on to the NFL Network. And then my dad called me and he was like, son, I think I might have been wrong about the game. And now my dad's a Raiders fan. He's not even talking about what just happened with John Gruden. And so he was like, are you watching this? And I said, I actually lied to my dad. I was like, yeah, I'm watching it. I don't want to look like I'm a square or anything. I said, yeah, he's like, you think Lamar Jackson's going to come back? And I'm playing it off. I'm like, Dad, I don't know about this one, man. Like, he could probably make it close. He ain't gonna come back and win. He's like, yeah, I don't think so either, son. But just in case, I'm gonna stay up and watch this game. I said, okay, well, it kind of, it kind of done gotten to the point with Don Lemon and the NFL Network where now the breaking coverage is starting to sound repetitive. I done kind of gotten all I'm gonna get out of it. So let me turn back to this game. And it was about maybe 6 minutes, 5 minutes ago in the third quarter. And I'm looking at this game and I said, oh my Lord, this is not happening. I said, this is a joke, right? This is a practical joke. This is not going to happen. And even going into the fourth quarter, Big V, I'm just like, nah, they're going to fall short because, I'm like, the lead was so substantial, and the score is one thing, Big V. The game flow is a whole nother. And the game flow was changing. The pendulum was switching to the Ravens. I said, okay, let me not go back to flipping back and forth. Let me go back and watch this game. And I just watched it with my jaw drop down to the ground because the whole Blankenship situation, I feel that. That's what happened to my boys against Seattle with Robbie Gould. Never mind the fact that he's on my fantasy team. Nobody cares about my fantasy team. But I'm like, I'm that guy who got to at least have one player from his team on fantasy, whether you're the bench rider or no. And what happened with Robbie Gould is very similar to what happened with Blankenship, where, man, he injured it in practice, or in warmups rather. And I'm like, holy crap, we don't got a kicker. How the hell are we gonna beat Seattle? But I didn't really feel that way. But I'm like, y'all have put up enough of a buffer. And then next thing you know, I'm like, well, you know what? Playing into the stereotypes that I really shouldn't be playing into about Lamar Jackson. I'm like, well, he is a good passer. I never said that he wasn't, but I'm like, the Excalibur of Lamar Jackson is his feet. And I'm thinking, which he did some, was still take off with his legs. You slide or you get tackled and you run some time off the clock. I'm like, well, if he plays that way, it's not going to be enough time, Big V. It's not. But then that ain't what he did. He would rush, break tackles, run all the way up to the line of scrimmage, and then bomb a 30-yarder. I said, oh my gosh. Oh no. I said, no. The evolution of Lamar Jackson happened on Monday night. Anybody who want to put him in the Michael Vick category, you could argue that from an athleticism standpoint. And while Michael Vick, who I still think can pass, I think he only did that when he had to do it, in my personal opinion. That ain't saying nothing good. That ain't saying nothing bad about him. What I'm saying is this, and I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to elevate Lamar Jackson over Michael Vick, but I will say that Lamar Jackson is different from Michael Vick in what he showed. He made a conscious effort to know that, hey, you know what? Yeah, I could get 1 foot over the line of scrimmage, not 2. And the way, he was just running that line of scrimmage be like a tightrope. And it's like, you have to honor the spy because you know that he could take off and dig for 30, 40 yards. But then it's kind of like, well, what do you do if you're a middle linebacker? What do you do? And I know that y'all had some secondary issues. I'm not sure if it would have mattered if y'all didn't have that issue. I don't think nobody could have defended the way that Baltimore was playing Monday night, because that is so tough, Big V. That is extremely tough to sit up here and say, hey, well, I need to go in on an all blitz, but then I kind of need to pull back, because if I honor the commitment to go to Lamar Jackson and then he mess around and throw a 15, 20, 30, 40 yarder, you're burnt either way. It's a catch-22 with them. And I don't really know if you can figure that out. Salute to Lamar Jackson. Salute to Baltimore Ravens. I was, being that you're my guy, I was rooting for the Colts. I know a few more Colts fans, and I just consider y'all the good guys of the NFL. And I'm just like, man, y'all deserve one. Even though y'all had one with Peyton Manning, but it's just like, I liked y'all because of the whole Patriot versus Colts deal. And I always looked at the Patriots as bad people. And I always, I looked at the Colts like the good guys. They do things the right way. And I just wanted that so bad for y'all last night, man. But Lamar Jackson happened.
Man, and you know what, Corey? Did you see how that boy was putting that ball on the money?
Doing it where only his receiver could do it. Pinpoint accuracy. It
was a fucking clinic, dude. It was a clinic.
It's one of those deals where you just take your hat off or you either tip it to him. I get it. The Colts are going to take flack for, hey, well, how dare you let him in the game, let him back in the game? Man, easier said than done, bro. It's Lamar Jackson. Had it have been Jacksonville, had it have been the Jets, all right, cool. But man, you got to start honoring that guy. And I tell you what, man, I think you got to also start, putting him in the category of a daggone Patrick Mahomes. You got to honor him like that, man. I ain't saying he's better.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the way that you prepare for him and honor and respect him, you have to do that just like you do Patrick Mahomes. That's all I'm saying. Don't twist my words. But you better honor that guy the same way you honor Patrick Mahomes from a defensive standpoint, or you are going to get toasted.
I agree, bro. I agree 1000%. You right.
Yeah.
You right, man. And speaking of toasted,
burnt toast at that point.
Man, I'm talking about beyond burnt popcorn type. You feel me? Jesus Christ. Leave a little, you know what I mean? Leave a little bad taste in your mouth. You can't even wash it out with no Pepsi type. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been under a rock here the last day or so, man, John Gruden is fucking fired.
He's up out of there.
He's up out of there, man. Due to some harsh emails, some racist emails, some sexist emails, some anti-gay emails that was going around between him and, for some reason, the front office of the Washington football team. Still confused about that. And maybe Corey, you can help me out a little bit, man. Why? Yeah. Well, I guess because I'm assuming that him and the guy that was in the front office at the time were good buddies and were just exchanging emails amongst each other.
I'm assuming that, but that's what I'm going to assume.
Because I didn't hear anything about business, trades, or anything like that amongst them. So I'm guessing it was mostly just some type of camaraderie. I have no.
I think it had to be.
Okay, yeah. Man. Man. Where are your friends, man, when you need them? I mean, did my man just say, yo, here's these emails from John Gruden, man. Y'all do whatever the fuck y'all want to with them. You know what I mean? But leave me out of it. You know what I mean? Like just the way, Corey, for me, the way everything is unfolding is just, I don't know. I still got a lot of questions. I'm still confused. I'm confused that
this is far from over.
I'm confused at why. I'm assuming, and I don't know, that the guy who was getting sent the emails, I'm assuming that he leaked these shits. Is that almost fair to say? I mean, how else would the NFL
it can be
and Time Magazine get their hands on it?
I still think that's the $64,000 question where we don't know how the New York Times got his hand on it. I don't think it was his man, but I do think it was probably somebody with an axe to grind within the investigation to say, hey, ta-da! But that part we still don't know yet. That, God, this is so fascinating, man. This should really be a movie.
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna keep it 100 though. I'm kind of surprised, Corey. Especially with, the racist remarks in the emails, and I haven't seen the emails. I don't think any of us on the outside looking in have seen the actual emails and can actually
seen
attest.
Little clips, but that's about it.
Right, I've heard what they've been about. I haven't seen any more documentation to say what he said line for line. But I am shocked about, the racism that was in it. I'm really shocked by his comments about Ed Reed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just looked at Gruden as one of the, the good guys, so to speak. And yeah, man, I love this little football show that he had with the quarterbacks and stuff. I thought that was pretty dope. Even just him doing the commentating on Monday night. What a great commentator. I don't know, man. I just thought, he was just an all around good guy. And I didn't see these things coming about on his end, even though I've heard a lot of what Keyshawn had to say about
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
He's had hands-on experience with Gruden, so his comments are his comments. But just from somebody's at home looking in, from the outside in, I didn't expect this, man. Like, this is crazy. I don't think he's gonna coach again in this league. I don't see it.
Mm-mm.
I don't see it.
Nah.
I don't see no team touching this no time soon. Um,
Mm.
um,
Mm-mm.
yeah, man. Man, I mean, I'm just still in shock, man. I mean, really, like, what are your thoughts?
Oh boy, I got so many different places to go with this Big V. I'm gonna try to start off at the top and just kind of work in order here. When first of all the news breaks, and I'm sorry to laugh. I'm not a comedian, but it don't take much to tickle me in certain situations. First of all, so the news breaks on Friday of him calling DeMaurice Smith Michelin lips, and I got to say,
Hold on. He said what now? I ain't heard
oh,
this.
oh yeah, okay, all right. Let me fill you in. So the point that he said about DeMaurice Smith, and I'm paraphrasing, but this was true, where he said he has lips thicker than Michelin tires. That's what he said, Big V. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. Not that this matters. First of all, where I was starting at is that Friday is normally a feel good day in corporations of a typical 9 to 5 guy. Like, people are more lighthearted and stuff like that. And I get it. I'm 40 years old. I've gotten along with like the majority of white folks, but just because they're one way around me, that they don't mean that they're not one way around another. I still hold fast to my deal of I give everybody a fair shake until I see otherwise, no matter what color you are. And I got to admit that we both went to Kinston High School, and this sounds like a joke that you would clearly hear. Somebody we rag on folks. If you're sensitive to people ragging on you, you are going to be in trouble. Like, you're going to have to get counseling, because that's what we do. Big V, you know how many gap jokes I got through school, all the way up through high school. Like, and you can either sit here and internalize and just be mad and just want to fight, or you can get witty yourself to kind of make people not joke on you, or at least, man, you better think twice before you say something about Corey's got, because Corey is going to freaking ether you in another way, or whatever, or at least make you mad enough to where you want to fight me, even though I can't fight that well. I'm going to do something. I'm going to at least get a good ooh off, even though you may still win the joking battle. I'm like, man, we could get in the fight, but Corey had that one left uppercut that kind of, you're going to feel me for the next couple of weeks. But be that as it may, I heard that and I laughed, Big V. I said I would never look at DeMaurice Smith lips the same ever again. I did. Damn, I'm telling you, the zoners, Zolo, I'm just telling you my initial reaction. I'm like, yo, Gruden should be a damn comedian. But then and I have Michelin tire. That's all I've been buying since I've been driving. So anyway, I don't want to argue on that too much longer. And then, I started thinking about certain things. Certain things are funny depending upon who they are coming from, right? So that's where the pendulum got to swing a little bit, because I'm thinking like, yo, John Gruden don't like this guy, and he called him, said he got lips thicker than Michelin tires. I'm like, damn, man, that's a good one. And I'm real careful on, I'm real careful on the wokeness, because I do think that you do need a segment of the population to make sure that white folks don't get away with everything. Like, you need certain woke people. You need the NAACP, because if you remove them, then even though I'm laughing at it, they may say something worse. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, you laughed at it back then. Oh, it ain't funny now. And so when I start thinking about it, I'm like, well, yeah, it is funny, but man, it ain't funny coming from John Gruden, a white man. And I was still at the point to where he shouldn't get fired over it. I'm not even necessarily in the camp of, just based off that he should have gotten suspended, or whatever. Now, there was a lot of folks that, and I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, that was like, oh, so let me get this straight. He said something about the black man and he still get the coach, But then once you start saying something about gay folks and women's and all that stuff there, then now he's fired. And I'm kind of like, well, I'm not like, I'm not going to say you shouldn't have that opinion. I'm not going to even necessarily say I disagree with that, because on the face of it, I do think you're right. But then I'm looking at it from an owner standpoint, right? And I say, man, if I was Mark Davis, what would I do, right? And so, again, not hearing about anything else and not even recognizing the fact that this was done while he was at ESPN. This wasn't done under our watch. It was done back in 2011. He was still doing Monday Night Football, who I enjoy calling. I would sit here and watch two turtles play against one another if he's calling the game. Like the way I feel about my man Gus Johnson in college football was the same exact way from a commentating standpoint I feel about John Gruden in NFL. I like John Gruden, whatever. And so getting back to Mark Davis, it's like, well, you hear about this, and I do think that we live in a microwave society where we want action to be quick, swift, make a decision. Not now, but yesterday. Do it now. Do it next time. Whoa. Can I at least gather the information first? Because Big V, now, if he has called him the N-word, then I wouldn't have had that laughter that I had on Friday night. I would have at the least been like, he needs to get suspended immediately. Even then, not calling for a job, because my deal, Big V, getting back to the Morris Smith thing, I'm like, well, should he be fired? I don't know. I said it's going to depend on that locker room, right? Because I realize that the younger you are, the more tolerance you have for either direct or indirect racism, because you don't know, because you grow up wanting to believe the best of all people. You don't want to think of that guy that you're at work with at the water cooler. You don't want to think of him as being that guy, that racist guy. You don't want to think like he's cool, man. We don't have lunch together. Oh, we don't hung out together. And I'm speaking for personal experience, Big V, where obviously I'm not going to air it out here, but I had a cool friend who I didn't care what color he was, been around this man's family, been up with his kids, invited them to the wedding, been over each other's houses. And long story short, I ain't going to rant about that too much longer. His views on police brutality wasn't lined up with mine. My whole deal is that cops shouldn't be killing people. I still stand by that today. His deal was not necessarily condemning Black Lives Matter, but it was kind of like on the vibe of, well, if you don't do A, B, C, D, and E, then you don't have to worry about the cop killing you. And my retort was that, dude, I hear you, but that's not always the case. That was my stance then. That is my stance now. Is that, look, yeah, I do believe that when you are being pulled over by the cops, hit them with the yes, sir, and no, sir. But we can't sit up here and act like that's going to automatically get you home to your wife and kids. That's all I was trying to say. He kind of doubled down on it. I doubled down on what I said. And that was that. We don't speak anymore. I don't really consider him a friend of mine anymore. But I respect for him to have his right to his opinion. So when John Gruden, started talking about Eric Reed, a former 49er, I was like, because, the whole one-time blip of the Michelin tires thing that was done 10 years ago, I'm like, all right, look, it's a teachable moment, whatever. But then this isn't just one thing. This is from 2011 to 2018, Big V.
Yeah.
So you have a problem with Eric Reed protesting. All right. I know a lot of people that got issues with the protesting. All right, fine, whatever. Like, okay, you're the guy that I like or the guy that I love, I'm really just starting to like you now. Oh, but then it didn't stop there. Then now you're sitting here talking about there shouldn't be women referees in NFL football. All right, dude. All right, boom. Oh, but that ain't enough. Now you feeling like that Commissioner Goodell forced the St. Louis Rams coach, Jeff Fisher at the time, into drafting Michael Sam. Oh, so you just want to go on a freaking offensive, profanity-laced tirade against everybody. So I'm like, Ah, man, dude. Dude, whatever love I have for John Gruden, you got to take that with you, bro. Like, because, look, Big V, I'm not conflicted, but I do have a sense of understanding with certain things, right? I do believe us as a microwavable society and a culture, we are so quick to just say, hey, boom, this cat did this 15 years ago. Get rid of him now. And I'm like, you do need to give people a chance to evolve. The John Gruden case don't really seem like he was evolving. I can even bring you back to Donald Sterling with the Clippers. Now, I still felt like he should have lost the team. I feel that way. I feel like he still should have lost the team. But I'm gonna say this, Big V. I don't like how he lost the team. Whoa, Carl, what you talking about? Cool, I'm glad you asked. This man in his house had been videotaped. Donald Sterling, I'm talking about, videotaped by his then girlfriend, mistress, or whatever. This man had no idea that he was being taped. Now, Big V, I don't know about you and your wife, but I would imagine that we're both parallel in this regard. There are things that are said in my living room with my wife, who's my best friend. I would imagine the same goes for you and your wife, who's also your best friend. Things that you will never tell me. There are things I will never tell you that I share between my wife. My wife is there's no one person who knows Corey Smith 110%. I will never give no one that power. But boy, there's something that's close. And my wife, if I had to type a percentage on it, she got me close to a good 95%, Big B. As far as how I think, how I move, who I like, who I don't like, how I feel about this, how I feel about that. There are things that if you suck a daggone microphone in our living room, I would be fired yesterday, right? And again, he should have lost the team. I don't like how he lost it. Like, because, yeah, you could argue, like, people don't mind this stuff when it suits your interest. It's not a big deal because you're in agreement, and which I'm 100% right. Like, I agree that, oh man, no, you can't have that guy being an owner of a league that's predominantly black, getting right back to John Gruden. You can't have a guy like him. Well, what do you mean by him? Oh, racist. Oh, racist. You can't have a racist be the leader of 70% black men. You cannot have it. And if you're going to be that way for all the racists out there, for all the bigoted people, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice from a black man. You better find a better way to keep it under wraps because it's a new day, man. It's a new day. And I also work in IT. These emails that was being sent from John Gruden was John Gruden's personal emails. But the guy he sent it to for the Washington football team, that's company email. Now, let me give you a quick IT lesson for all those people who work a 9-to-5 like I do, who like to use their work computer as a personal device. Don't do it, okay? Because I'm not going to reveal but so many secrets because I still work a 9-to-5. But I have been in certain circumstances where a manager would say, hey, blah computer, let me run a report on that. Run a report and see what they've been doing. Let's just go ahead, see what website they're going to, because they're not getting their work done. We need to find a reason why. Even though North Carolina is an at-will state, most employers like to have a paper trail. They can't, they could technically fire you because it's 65 degrees outside. That don't mean that they like to do it, right? And so what website they go to? Oh, but it gets a little bit deeper. They may know such and such, leave his computer unlocked. They don't ever do the whole control alt delete when they go to lunch. Hey, Corey, I need you to stay a little bit over for lunch, man. Go ahead and see what's going on. We'll go over there. Or if it's locked, Corey, go ahead and do a password reset. And when they get back, we just act like there's an issue with their password. I've done that. Company emails are company's property. It is proprietary to that company. They pay for the email license. That is their property. No matter what personal stuff, whatever, what coupons you want to get sent to your work email, stop it. That is company property. So getting back to the Washington football team investigation, there are the thing is we want to be careful about is not to let Washington completely off the hook because we need to make sure that this is not going any further because see, right now John Gruden is the punching bag. But see, I could pull a Nino Brown from New Jack City, or if I'm going down, a whole bunch of other mother is coming with me. Oh, yeah, this bigger than Nino Brown, Big V. This bigger than Nino Brown. And so right now, the players who are part of the investigation, they want those emails released to the public.
Mm.
The NFL does not want those emails released to the public, Big V. Sip on that for a little bit. So the guy that John Gruden is sending his email, I keep forgetting his name.
Me too.
Brandon something.
Yeah.
But anyway, the guy that John Gruden sending these emails to, what you think he's not going to get looked at? What makes him so comfortable where you could speak like that, right? What is it about that comfort level where you feel like you could talk that way to him? Because I was always told by my grandparents, birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. Now, if you're in the NFL arena, and really any arena, but we're sticking with the NFL, is I'm guarantee you right now as we speak, Big V, there's a lot of owners and a lot of people scrubbing their damn emails right now. There's a lot. And if you're smart, you better do it. Because this is bigger than John Gruden, bro. Because can you imagine? Donald Sterling had his team taken away. And rightfully so, by the way, even though I don't agree with how it got taken away. You don't think the same thing can happen in the NFL? It's the same thing. Owners can vote you in, even if you got enough money, if you print money, and if you want to buy a team, 3/4 of the owners have to allow for that sale to happen. They have to allow for that. So the same way you get voted in, you can get voted out. Ask Jerry Richardson from the Carolina Panthers. Ask him. Ask him about his foot. Oh, he can't because he don't have a football team anymore, Big V. So it can happen. You better be careful what you type to those racists and bigots out there. Hey, man, it's a new day. Everybody don't think like you, man. Everybody don't think like you. There's still a fair amount that do, but I do believe it. There's more that don't that do, bro. So it's a new day. Even if it's just about image, whatever the reasoning is, it's going to be a new day. And the NFL historically have been slow on a lot of stuff with domestic violence, with the Black Lives Matter movement. They've been super slow. Now you can argue, you know, I don't want to sit up here and crown them, but I do feel like they had to do that. They was like, hey, Mark Davis of the Raiders, the clock's on you, bro. Because if you don't come down with something, we're going to come down with something. Those are my thoughts, bro.
I agree, man. I definitely feel like the NFL tried to act swiftly as possible. Just being the fact that they knew where this was going. Mm-hmm. They knew. That's why they don't want those emails to the public. they knew where this was going. Yes, and boy, I'm here to tell you, they're gonna come out.
Yep.
By the time we do this next podcast, I'm expecting to see something. I'm expecting something by next week. Yeah, I am. It's just I don't know, man. It's just idiotic, man, and you know, and man, I mean, I'm just shocked. I'm really shocked.
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
Man, you like me? I like that dude, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he led my old team Bucks to the championship. You know what I mean? And
that guy had football all his whole life. Now he ain't gonna be able to do jack, at least for the next couple of years.
Yeah,
he sure as hell ain't gonna be no head coach. I'll be shocked if that ever happens.
Speaking of head coaches,
as the world turns in coaching news,
man, oh man, you know, Corey,
my man.
You know, they say that players from college have to make an adjustment once they go pro.
Yeah.
They say it's a tough adjustment, Corey.
Yeah.
I hadn't really heard anything of when a coach jumps from the college to the NFL, how tough it may be or may not be. I haven't really heard too much.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, man, your boy Urban Meyer looking like a rookie out here in all senses of the word.
My man Herb.
Ladies and gentlemen, not one, but two sets of footages
I saw them both.
have, I didn't see the second set, but boy, I saw the first set. Two sets of footages have appeared somehow in the news of Urban Meyer in some kind of club with a woman backed into his lap area, and it wasn't his wife.
Yeah.
The sources, they say that after their loss last Sunday, he did not ride back with the team. He said, "Yo, team, check this out, right? I'm gonna stay down here for a minute. I'm gonna cool out. Y'all go ahead without me.
Handle that.
I'm gonna fall back." And the next day, it showed Urban falling back in the club. You know what I mean? Getting a little, you know what I mean? Little sippy sip, little grind on. You know what I mean?
Let me get that.
Let me get that. And again, you know, they said it wasn't his wife, which is even more of why this is funny as hell. I kept looking at the footage of the first ensemble, if you will.
Yeah.
And he was just chilling. He didn't Corey, when you in the club and you meet a joint, you know what I mean, that you ain't used to, you don't know her.
Yeah.
You got an aura or look about yourself like, I'm not really sure about her, you know what I mean, but I like her, you know what I mean. You're not
Put your
really
best foot forward.
Yeah, you're not really comfortable how you would be, as if you would, as if you had known the young lady for some years or some months or so.
That's right.
Your boy Urban Meyer was very comfortable. Did you peep him? He was comfortable. He was. I mean, it was like he was right at the crib. You know what I mean? Right at the crib, just chilling. You know what I mean? After a fire L. You know what I mean? After a fire loss they took a fire loss. You know what I mean? My man looked comfortable. He looked like he was on the winning side of the game that night. He looked, man, he looked like he had been here before, Corey.
Yeah.
And man, I think that maybe he had. I think that he knew the young woman or what have you, and you can tell this wasn't Eric's first time around around a campfire. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, let me get that.
I'm
gonna be in town tonight.
Hey man, I'm in town
I'm leaving tomorrow.
I'm leaving tomorrow, baby. What you trying to get into? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm 18 and live a crazy life. I can tell you what the 80s like. You know what I mean?
Let's do that.
Corey,
let's sit back and let's puff and Jada this one right here. Let me puff and Jada this right here.
Puff and Jada this right here. Corey. To my people out in the zone land. If you do not understand why this is funny, let me break this down for you, right? First and foremost, this just goes down the long list of bad decisions Urban Meyer has just continuously to make. Corey, we can start with the hiring of Tim Tebow. That was asinine in itself. What were you thinking? Yeah. What were you doing? Nobody knows. No. Then you fired the guy because here's a news flash for you. He can't play tight end or whatever the fuck that you need him to play. Yes,
no idea.
We had no idea. This whole time I thought he was a Gronkowski type of nigga. I just thought he was. Oh my God. And then after a fire loss, You tell the team to go ahead, man. I'm cool. I'm gonna fall back here for a day or so. I catch y'all on
Yeah,
Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll talk about the footage.
yeah.
So then you caught up in the club on what they're deeming lapgate now.
Golly, man.
So now you in the club on lapgate, caught on camera, not once, but twice. And I didn't even see the second one, Corey. Corey, this is hilarious, man. This is
It is.
hilarious. Corey, like, how old is he? Like, you out here moving extra sloppy. You out here acting. You out here like you like looking like new money. You know what I mean? You out here acting like that, like you some kind of horny 19-year-old who just got in the league, just got a little binge. You know what I mean? And it's his first night in Vegas. What are
Urban
you
Meyer is
doing?
57 years old.
Oh
He's
my
57 years old, according to Wikipedia.
man, listen.
There you go.
I thought he was suffering from headaches and stuff like that. I mean, that's what I thought. I thought that's why he had left college football because he needed
Yeah.
time. You know, his head was pounding.
Health reasons.
You
Yeah.
know. I don't know if this has been. I don't know if she's the cure for him. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it being the fact that the Jags are like 0-5.
Yeah.
Corey, this is terrible, man.
Yeah.
I feel. Let me tell you, man. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, of course there are no championship teams, but let me tell you, man. I don't think that this is part of their culture. This is this is embarrassing, Corey, for their culture, man. What are your thoughts on this situation, man?
Big Vito Corleone. So I'm gonna clear up a few things. So it was on a Thursday night playing against Cincinnati. Obviously, he has a lot of businesses or at least a business in Ohio, somewhere in Ohio. And so where he was at his restaurant. He had his own restaurant there, and that's where he was at. And Big V, I don't know. For some people to be so smart, they could be so dumb, right? Like, dude, again, it's 2021. I don't know if you felt because it was his restaurant. I don't know how many people, if it was more of a quote unquote controlled environment where only X amount of people were supposed to be there. I don't know anything about that. Here's what I do know. It alleged, obviously, was that he wanted to sit and chill. They try to bring him out on the dance floor, whoever they are. He did not want to go out on the dance floor. And so old girl, his friend, his therapist, his get right was basically like, well, fine, I'm gonna dance on you. Now, Big V, when I first saw it, I was like, my God, like he is either totally disinterested in her and interested in her at the same damn time. Like, Big V, well, I got a great wife, and she allows for me to go to the strip club every so often. If I've been a good little boy, hey, you and your homeboy go out. Now it's cool. And she let me, and I use that word that she let me do it. Maybe not even a handful of times since we've been married. It's a card that while she says it's okay, I do believe her, but I don't push it either. Now, Big Vito, when I'm at a strip club, just like you said, when a woman is doing her job, be careful how I talk here. I am definitely showing a level of interest. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm P. Diddy, where I got $50 billion to make it rain. Just go, I'm on some cool stuff with my shades. I'm like, yeah, come on. It's like, no, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time by still being respectful. Like the lady, she drives the bus. I don't put my hands anywhere unless she wants them there. She got it. Plus, it's against the rules any damn way. You don't want to get kicked out over something stupid. So you know, I asked my wife about this because he's a married man. And I said, man, when I first got this story, Big V, I'm either thinking like, wow, his wife is hella young, or that ain't his wife. And the latter was true. That ain't his wife. And so I asked my wife, I said, well, honey, let me ask you something. Cause I say, you know, again, you allow for me to go to the strip club every so often. And again, I don't have the money to go to the strip club like that. I'm just going to be honest with the zone land. I don't have that type of money to even do it, even if I wanted to. That being said, I said, wife, what would what's a scenario where I can have a chick grinding on me like this lady was to Urban Meyer? I said, what situation outside of the strip club can this be applicable where I won't get in trouble when I get home? And she said, there is no scenario. You will be in trouble. I said, okay, that's what I thought. So I went through, I think his wife's name is Shelly Meyer. If I'm wrong, someone in Zone Land, correct me on that. So she posted, the first post is, well, look, the man deserves a break. Give him some slack. This is what his wife said. Hey, however things are conducted within your marriage, I'm not getting in the middle of that. I'm quite sure there are some people who, well your life, yeah. What you mean? You mean your wife let you go out? No, you a man. You do what you want to. All right, whatever. There may be somebody on the other end. But wait, why do you even need that if you got your wife? If your wife is all so, I want to be careful with all that stuff. Okay, I'm just telling you, different marriages, different rules, different dynamics. But then, Big V, I'm on the Bluebird known as Twitter, and there's people criticizing Urban Meyer for what he done. And Shirley Meyer is liking those comments. So wait, I said to myself, I said, well, wait a minute, I'm confused. So the guy needs a break, but then you're liking the comments condemning his action. Not to mention that in that second video that you said you haven't seen, I have seen it. And you got 5 fingers on the hand, Big V. 5. This lady has on a skirt, Big V. There's a couple of fingers that go from 5 to 3 that makes it want to go through that skirt, Big V. So I'll let y'all use y'all imagination on that. Well, you mean to tell me his wife is okay with that too? Did she, you know, I don't have the chronological order of what tweets were like and what wasn't like, and when things was posted versus the second video came out. I would give you all that. But I'm gonna tell you something, what I feel about the Myers as a married couple, a staff record label, and as a crew. I think both of them are extremely confusing individuals. I really do. Because I can't make heads or tail of, well, that is his wife, man? Or is she saying the man deserves a break? And my wife had a real good point. That's why I love to have women's perspective, especially on things like this. And my wife was basically like, oh, she ain't about to let this woman mess up her money. Urban Meyer probably got her in the baddest car in the world. Probably got that lifestyle that's probably second to none. She ain't about to let some bimbo mess that up. She ain't about to do that. So she's going to eat it for a little bit. Now, she said it will come a time where she's not going to be able to eat it anymore. And then that's where I think that alimony and all that stuff will come into play. But right now, she's not going to let that mess up her paper, husband. That's what my wife said to me. I said, that's the game behind the game. I got you. All right. That still don't mean that she's not a confusing individual. Then your boy Urban Meyer leaves Florida Gators, because it's too stressful, health issues, some heart issues, and I might shoot. Hey, we've all, well, not all, I know I've been through health issues and things of that nature, and I get it. Like the
was he at Ohio State, right? Like he was at Ohio State.
No, the first time he left was from Florida. I remember this like it was yesterday.
Okay.
He left Florida first because of health issues and the rigors of dealing with a top-notch program, of the expectations that came with it. That's why when he went to Ohio State, I'm like, well, wait a minute, time out. You can argue that Ohio State is more stressful than Florida in
Big
Gainesville.
facts. Big facts.
He left Florida because of the distraction that one of his assistants was beating on his wife, and Urban Meyer knew about it and didn't do anything about it. That's why he left Ohio State. That's why he left Ohio State. So when I see him coaching in the NFL, and you mentioned one of the things about bringing in Tim Tebow, I would like to add on that, yeah, he also brought in the controversial racist strength and conditioning coach.
Yep.
So that's not a good move, or whatnot. I'm looking at him doing preseason because I want to see how Trevor Lawrence is going to do. And I'm looking at Herb on the sidelines, and he's looking like he just lost the Super Bowl. And I'm like, dog, it's preseason. It's okay. This is a learning curve. Like, it's easy. And I'm like, yo, you do know that this is going to be a rough ride for the foreseeable future, right? I don't think they have a winnable game for the rest of the season in Jacksonville. I think that he shouldn't be the coach next season. Not necessarily because of the up in the club incident, but I think that he should have. I don't like the strength and conditioning coach that he brought in. And you could argue that Tim Tebow, while he's polarizing, at least you could say that's a football move. But it's like, dude, the eyes on you, bro. The eyes on you, Mr. Herb. Like, if I'm Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm having serious questions about Urban Meyer moving forward, because the great Maya Angelou once told me, once told you, and once told anybody who read any of her books, when people show you who they are, believe them. Urban Meyer is showing you who you are. Getting back to John Gruden, it was tough to call Urban Meyer a leader of black men when you bring in a known racist strength and conditioning coach. Forget Tim Tebow. You can argue that's a football move. Forget, going out of the club, because here's one thing, and ain't never been no coach of anything, Big B. But what I've always heard is that, man, everything is done together. When you're in sports, if one person messes up on a play, all y'all got to run laps. It's that whole team atmosphere. I think the restaurant incident wouldn't be a big deal had he had one, or if there was at least 2-2. But you got to understand where there are some coaches, they don't even leave the facilities. You know what I'm saying? They go days without seeing their wife. That's what it entails. Now, that don't mean that you can't have a little bit of off time. But what it is, Big V, is about perception. And you got to make sure that your perception becomes reality. If you're 0-4, now 0-5, but yet you up in the club, that don't look right. It don't. But now let's just say if you're Cliff Kingsbury of the Arizona Cardinals, that's a whole different ballgame. Man, this dude could go to Las Vegas and make it rain, take a residency, and shoot a porno, and it's going to be okay because they're undefeated. Herb, good luck. I will not see you next year for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he's going to change his mind again, because he always changes his mind. I think his wife changes her mind. And I think that he's going to either try to become the coach of USC next year. I think he's off way more than he's going to chew. I think he's going to be gone.
We're going to have to keep our eye on that, bro. I like that. I hadn't even thought about that. Man, we're going to have to
he's a shifter, bro. He's a shifter.
He is, though. That he is, man.
Don't trust anything that man says. He will change his mind, which he's inclined to do, but his word don't mean anything to me.
What about how this whole time we thought that maybe DeAndre Ayton would be due for a bag, and now the Suns are thinking about changing their mind? Corey, ladies and gentlemen, in the zone land, man, DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns is fighting to get his max rookie deal, 5-year, I think $172 million.
Yeah.
But the Phoenix Suns say, not so fast, my friend. Hold on. Whoa. Corey, when I heard this news, man, I initially thought to myself, Phoenix, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Pay the man.
Yeah.
Max him out
Yeah.
today. But Corey, the closer we got to the podcast today, I had some thoughts. I don't know if he's worth the max, Corey.
Mm.
Corey,
Mm.
I know he had a hell of a playoff run. Hell of a
Yeah.
playoff. You know what I mean? Hell of a playoff season. Hell of a regular season too. I just don't know if I want to play a center. If I want to pay a center the max, who's only averaging 16 points a game, Corey.
Yeah.
That's tough for me to give you 172 million. And I want to keep some things in perspective, right? He's after this deal mainly because the other guys that came into his class have gotten their rookie deal.
Yeah.
Booker is getting paid. Luka is getting paid. I hate to break it to DeAndre, but those guys are worth every fucking penny. No doubt. You can't. Who we kidding?
Yeah. Yeah.
Luka, you people who listen to this podcast, they know how we feel about Luka on this podcast.
Oh boy. Yes,
Luka
sir.
is a stud. He's a fucking killer, dude.
Facts.
Pay Trae Young too. Matter of fact, give him the bag. Give him the whole. Give him the house.
Well, they better do that with Trae Young.
It's guys like that, Corey, who are a no-brainer max guy. DeAndre Ayton. I don't think he's a no-brainer max guy. I just don't think so, Corey. I don't think so. Don't think so. This team has not been to the playoffs before the addition of Chris Paul.
Yeah.
That's why they paid that man. DeAndre Ayton had been there. Him and Booker had been there. They've been on the team. They weren't even in the playoffs until the addition of one man.
Yeah.
Chris Paul. And I'm not saying, and again, Booker is a no-brainer max. Give him the max. He deserves every penny. We've seen what he can do. DeAndre, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think he's an automatic max guy. Like, what are your thoughts, man?
You know what? You bring up a good point. I like to quantify that you had a no-brainer max versus just a max guy, right? I think he's a max, but I don't think he's a no-brainer max. And I'm gonna give you a few reasons why. I agree with you on that. First of all, and I'm just looking at this from the sportstrack.com. It does all like the salary number crunching and all that old stuff, right? For this upcoming year, the 2021-2022 season, the roster cap is $128 million, give or take. Right now, as a stand up today of October the 13th, 7:15 p.m., they are already over $15 million of the cap, right? They're already over. And so these are the heavy hitters that's taking up most of that. Devin Booker, 31, I would say, might as well say $32 million. CP3, $31 million. DeAndre Ayton is at 12 right now, still off his rookie scale deal. Those are the two biggest contracts that you got here. Now, let's drill into this a little bit deeper. DeAndre Ayton, he has, make sure I can count properly here. After this upcoming season, after this upcoming season, he still has another season left. And then after that, after next season, he'll be a restricted free agent. So right now, you don't really have much of a leg to stand on other than threatening to not play. But see, here's the thing. Cats always talk about the players run the NBA, not holistically. The stars run the NBA. The stars do. Your Damian Lillard, Ron James, Chris Paul's, those guys, they did your Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant, so forth and so forth. It's really, I would argue, maybe 10 players that could pull this stunt and it works, right? He has this year and he has next year that the fulfill his contract. At this season, he's slated for 12 million, a little bit over 12 million. Let's just say 13. And then the year after that, he's slated for 16.5 million. And then again, after that, he will be a restricted free agent. So you don't have much of a leg to stand on. Now, if you mess around and say, hey, you know what, we're fine, I'm not going to play, I feel like Phoenix would call his bluff and be like, all right, do what you do. We'll trade you. If he was a unrestricted free agent, you may talk a little bit different. And while I agree with what you're saying, the deal is this, Big V. Yeah, you just said it. None of this really started happening until CP3 got there. So you had one breakout season. And I would even argue that during the finals, when they needed you the most, you didn't quite live up to it. Now, let me give him some credit because he's going against Giannis. So that's all that's being said. But see, Big V, when I'm paying you that type of money, Giannis ain't Michael Jordan, bro. Giannis isn't Kevin Durant, right? I need you, if I'm paying you that type of money, I need you to be a daggone, I need you to be a Giannis equalizer. At worst, cancel out. Don't let him get off. Make his night hard during the finals. That did not happen. And it not only did it not happen, Big V, it happened with Giannis on a bum knee, bro. It happened where we didn't even know if Giannis was even going to be playing in the finals. All the advantages for that 5 matchup was there for DeAndre Ayton. And you could argue, was the moment too big? I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a ball player playing in the finals. I don't know. But what I do know is that Giannis, for all practical purposes, had his way with you during this previous finals. And so when you're talking about however much they're trying to, they that was 172 million over 5 years or something like that, I get it. You had one breakout year, but when we needed you the most, I'm not quite sure about that. We need to put you on a show and tell contract. Not right now, buddy. Not right now. If he busts ass this upcoming year, we have a whole different. And I don't mean because real quick before I let you finish. When we're talking about Phoenix, man, we ain't talking about regular season anymore. We ain't talking about regular season, Big V.
No.
I'm gonna even go a step further. We ain't even talking about the first round. We ain't talking about the second round. We're talking from the Western Conference Finals on. That's where that 172 will come in. And I get it. Well, Corey, with some of these other stars, I get all that. But see, with some of these other stars, like Devin Booker, even before Chris Paul got there, you knew that guy was going to be something special. You're looking at the coming on of Trae Young. You know that any championship they're going to have is going to be built around them guys. They're not building around you, Aiden. Not yet. They're building around Booker and CP3. You're another guy. You're the third guy on the team. Just like and that don't mean that's a bad thing. You look at the big three in Boston. You look at the squad that Miami had where Chris Bosh was the third guy. You look at the Cleveland run where Kevin Love, there's room for you. No question. But not for 172 million, big dog.
And you know what, Corey? Those guys you are naming, from Kevin Love to Chris Bosh, you know what all those guys have in common that DeAndre Ayton don't have? A fucking mid-range game. I'm not giving you the max if you don't have a mid-range game. You're not worth $172 million if you don't have a fucking mid-range game. Bro, you better get out here on the horn and go work with Patrick Ewing or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no clue. But I know you will not get a max deal in this league without that
Mm.
mid-range game. And boy, I saw
You got to be dynamic.
oh my God. And
Got to
bro,
be dynamic.
and I saw you the other night, Mr. Aiden, trying to shoot the three. Please stop. Please.
Don't do that.
The form,
That ain't your game, bro.
oh my, dude, your form is fucking terrible. Please stop.
Yeah.
Stop. That is not you, bro. And I get it. You want to try that? Not so fast, my friend. You work on that 10 to 12 footer. That can be phenomenal for somebody like you.
Work from the inside out, big dog.
Go get Tim Duncan. Go get Patrick Ewing. Go work with Elijah Wan. Ask those guys how critical a mid-range game can be for you at that size. It can make and break you on that max. I swear to God it will. And right now,
it will. That's the difference.
Right now, bro, I gotta say no on your max deal. I'm sorry. You're not there yet. You're not there.
Not yet, buddy. Not yet. Not yet.
No. I want you to hold off on that max deal. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna hold off. You know what I mean until next week. To get into some more of this fire sports news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And man, we ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say one more thing. There has been a Ben Simmons sighting in the Philadelphia 76ers, you know what I mean, facilities. We're going to keep an eye on that because that is some funny shit. That is some funny shit.
You know, it's funny as a semi-teaser, you know, it's funny. I think Jay-Z had a song called When the Money Goes. Something. Anyway, it's funny how the morals change when that money starts to dry up. Ask Andrew Wiggins. Teaser for next week, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody got morals until that bank account start to drink. Ben Simmons is like, well, what you mean? Because real quick, and I know we're done. Ben Simmons, at least, this is more so alleged and rumor. They was putting his fine money. Philadelphia was putting his fine money in the escrow, and Ben Simmons and Rich Paul was under the assumption that, oh well, if I show up, I'm going to get that money back. And it's like, no, not really. You're losing that. What?
Yeah, after you bought that $22 million house out there in LA, we heard about you, big dog. You know what I mean? We heard
ain't mad at him, but.
But
last I heard, LA is pretty expensive. Last I heard,
and it's far from Philly.
I've been out there once in my life, but let me tell you something, dog. When a tank of gas is $6, have at it.
Hey, have at it, man. Listen, man, we appreciate everybody tapping in and tuning in through SoundCloud or YouTube, however you're watching this, through the clips on Instagram, Twitter, and all the social media, man. Keep the support coming. You know what I mean? Yo, man, hopefully next time we do this podcast, I won't be under the weather from a Colts loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will be feeling great. I don't know at this point in time in the NFL season. I do know NBA is back in a few more days, so we're going to be mixing it up with the NBA talk.
Absolutely.
And the NFL sports talk.
You know we love the NBA, buddy.
You know how we do on the NBA, baby. You already know. Next show, we will be making Super Bowl predictions. We'll be making our Super Bowl predictions next show. We ain't halfway through the season just yet, but man, we're approaching. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's time to jump out there.
It's time to jump out there, make some predictions, man, and all that. You know what I mean? I might got to get my boy Killer TV in. Yes, sir.
Yeah, get him up here, man. Cause I know y'all wanted it. I know y'all, because I watched the podcast. I know he was asking about the predictions earlier, and you wanted to hold off on that. So I want to have a killer up here, man.
We might got to get Killer. Might got to get Killer TV, man, for these NFL. You know what I mean? Predictions, baby, for the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
I'm with it. And real quick before you go, man, I love that shirt. I am a huge Ghostbuster fan.
You know what it is.
Huge baby. Ghostbuster fan. And so much of a fan. Hold on for a second. I'm so much of the fan that I have the complete box set of every animated episode of the Ghostbusters. Yeah. I don't mess around with the Ghostbusters, my friend. We got to check out my man Slimer.
My man Slime, the hologram Slime.
We got all of that. That's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. So salute to you for that Ghostbusters. I love that. Love it.
Absolutely, man. You already know, man. I'm old school, baby. I gotta see the movie too when it's coming out. You know what I mean? A couple more months.
No
You know
doubt.
what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. I'm with it.
It looks good. You already know, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, listen. Y'all make sure y'all tapping in. Please follow us on YouTube. All social medias is right there, you know what I mean, in our SoundCloud, you know what I mean, and on our YouTube. Hit the bottom, you know what I mean? We got the socials down there. Share, like, all that good stuff, man. And we drop, you know what I mean? We try to put it up out on Fridays. We film on Wednesdays, man. And y'all just keep the support coming. Keep the
Appreciate
support
the love.
coming, man. You know what I mean? Keep the support coming. Would definitely appreciate it, man. Corey, I'm
Word.
gonna be hitting you up this week. You know what I mean?
Word. Let's
So,
get it.
so we can talk this sports talk. You know what I mean? Yo, I hope your Niners have a way better season than my Colts are. You know what I'm saying?
We might not be too far from one another, but we'll see. We got some winnable games coming up, but right now with Trey Lance, he got a left knee sprain, and we don't know what's going on with Jimmy yet. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We might be running parallel with your Colts this year. So man, what else is new? No.
Yeah, man. We gonna see, man. You know what I mean? Corey, I definitely appreciate you, man. You be safe out here
All
this
right, big
week,
dog.
bro. You know what it is,
No
baby.
doubt. Peace, my brother.
Peace, my guy.